nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com.
Thank you.
What are the emotions like coming back here?
Man, right off the bat, it's just home. You know, it sounds so corny, but just from walking back in the building, it's just so many smiling faces that I got to see and be around, and really know as people that I get to, you know, that I get to invest and put some more time back in our relationship. So I'm really, I don't necessarily have a word or a direct emotion, but it's all positive.
I know you had other options. What was it about this one that made you feel like time was now to come back?
Over the past few years, you know, if I'm born and raised here, you know, I mean, when I'm playing for the Hawks, playing for the Pelicans, yeah, I want them to win every game, but I was a Cavs fan. And so watching the playoffs the past few years, and it was hard to, you know, it's hard not to just sit on the couch and kind of look, you know, tap my wife and be like, I can help. Like, I could really do that. And this is a team that's really got a chance to win it all, and I feel like that's the goal. That's why I came back, and that's what we're going to do this year.
Where do you feel like you can help the most?
You know, when it gets to the playoffs, you know, it gets to a lot of switching and a lot of 5-out movement. And again, the way my game has developed over the past few years is a lot of 5-out. You know, I shoot threes. I play on the perimeter. I'm very comfortable out there, and especially, you know, the way Kenny's got the guys playing, very team first, and again with Don and Darius, the way just guarding them, you could tell how easy they make it for the bigs, and I just think I'll fit in really well here.
Hey Larry, Danny Cunningham, Locked On Cavs. How much, or I guess, where do you think your game has changed the most since the time you left here to go to Portland and coming back now?
The most is definitely shooting. That's where I've been putting a lot of my work in and effort in, and you know, it's bared fruit. You know, last year I shot it really well, shortened season, but the year before that I shot it well, and you know, it's now it's just getting the volume up and you know, keeping that moving. But you know, shooting has been really, really paramount for me recently.
What were your initial conversations with Kobe and Kenny like when it became clear that this was a possibility that you could be coming back?
It's funny, like I've always felt, you know, Kobe's here, Gansey's here, like you know, the whole training staff, this strength staff, like I still know them all, and I played with half the roster before, so I've had just kind of a general pulse on, like, you know, the vibe of what's been going on and the camaraderie and all that stuff, and so the conversations with Kenny and Kobe weren't even that big of a deal to me. To be honest with you, I can't. It made too much sense, you know, like you need another big that preferably can spread the floor and move a little bit on the perimeter. Like, it's just kind of fed right into exactly what I know I do and exactly how I know I can help. And the conversations with them were just very, you know, that exactly what I was already thinking. So hearing them reiterate what was already, I would say, already my plan, and coming back it just made too much sense all over again.
When you initially left here, did you think you'd ever be back playing for the Cavs again?
Yeah, I knew I would. I didn't know when. I'm a Cavs fan, you know?
When did you first think that was real?
The end of this year. I didn't know when, again, at the end of this year, it just became pretty like, man, it'd be kind of cool. And then, you know, you slowly start talking it over in conversation, you know, with my wife and family, and it just, really happy it worked out the way it did. Really, really happy.
Spencer Davies, Cavs on SI. When you look at, from a team perspective, you come in, you have championship expectations, and then you have different iterations throughout when you're here. Mm-hmm. You come back, and now there's championship expectations again. But it's with guys that are developed now, or are starting to develop in that direction. What's that part of it like for you to see, like DG and some of these young guys?
Yeah. No, it is funny because, again, I got here with championship expectations, and again, we got there. But, you know, a few years of rebuilding after that, and so I always I think back to the finals when I got to play in it in that playoff run, coming from LA. I wasn't ready as a player. I don't think I was ready to compete at that level. I'm ready now. I've been ready, and that's something that that's something that I wanted to check off my own box first. So I feel that I'm ready to compete at that level and ready to go win. And, you know, come on, they just won 64 games. They're fine. You know, I don't have to worry about them. I need to worry about me and making myself integrate with them. So, you know, seeing DG, the player he's turned into, the all-star he's turned into, has been still being the same awesome kid I knew when he first got here is heartwarming. It's awesome to see and really cool. Like, you know, obviously Don, playing against him and seeing him all these years, he speaks for himself. Jarrett has been a monster. Evan, of course, has turned, you know, Defensive Player of the Year. Like, it's been really cool to see the growth of the guys here since since I left, and even DeAndre. You know, Dre was great. That was great. I really enjoyed playing with him last year. So this is a roster that I just have really enjoyed watching them grow as people and players. I'm just excited to get back with them.
What makes you feel ready? You speak very confidently in that.
Yeah. Watching I think it's the physicality. I didn't know what the playoffs were. I'd never been to the playoffs. So the physicality, the intensity, I've seen that. You know, I've been in a few playoff series since then, and I feel like that is, it's the height of basketball, and I got the itch. I think I was a little nervous going into it the first time when I first got here. I'm hungry for it now. That's all I want to do, and I guess I can't tell you how I know I am. How I know it's like, you know, I'm ready to win, ready to compete. But it's I have been for the past few years, and this just is the perfect opportunity to do it with the place that I know and love.
Hey Larry, Cameron Justice, News 5 Cleveland. Back when you were traded here, you said the biggest challenge was convincing your mom you weren't going to move in with her and stay in her basement. This time around, what was the family's reaction knowing that you wanted to be here, you're coming back here, and this was going to be your reality?
Yeah, I think it's still kind of setting in. Setting in for me, setting in for them, you know, because it is a whole change. You know, I went out to Portland, went to New Orleans, and played in Atlanta, and now it's like, all right, you know, they got used to me being kind of gone, and my wife and my daughters being gone, and now it's like, hey, you know, you guys want to take her to school? You know, it's great. You know, I don't think we've really wrapped our head around, you know, all the potential positives and troubles that comes with it. But right now, it's just we're all just so excited.
For you, having the third party view, kind of from the outside, watching this team grow, how do you think that will benefit you as you step in here as a veteran leader, as a guy that just wants to kind of make an impact here?
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say I'm trying to come in here as like, hey, you know, let me teach you young fellas. You know, that's not, you know, these guys have done more winning than I've gotten to do. Like my job is to get in line with them. You know, I may be one of the older guys on the team, but my job is to get in line with them. You know, you know, those four is who I'm here to support. You know.
Ashley Holder, Channel 19. What has been the reaction from fans just you coming back home, playing for the home team? What's kind of been that?
Again, I can't even help but smile. Like it's just pretty incredible, the reception. You know, the reception via social media, and I went and dropped my daughter off at camp today. Was getting gas and had someone come up and be like, "Man, we are thrilled you're back." It's just very cool to know that the place, again, this team and this place that I hold so near and dear to my heart feels the same way. And I truly cannot wait to just play for them again.
Is there any place that you're like, once you touch down, I know you come back still, but like
Swenson's.
Okay.
Yeah. Swenson's.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the order there?
I know the ideal answer is a Galley Boy. That's not for me. I don't love olives, but it's a double cheese. Again, whoa, I'm an athlete. I only do this on occasion. But it's a double cheese, some tots, gotta have a Florida, and I also get the chicken tenders. If I'm splurging, out of season only. Yes, out of season, yeah.
Larry, Jimmy Watkins, Cleveland.com, welcome back.
Thank you.
When you say you're not sure how you know you're ready, and looking back, how do you know you weren't ready the first time?
Because I know the emotions I felt. I was so nervous. You know, like I just wasn't ready. You know, and that's only on me and me only, and you just didn't know until you got there. But it was one of those like, man, these guys are good. And granted, yeah, that's probably one of the best teams of all time that we lost to, but in playing, again, in New Orleans, we played OKC, we played number 1 seed Phoenix the past 2 years, I guess, in New Orleans, and it just is addicting. I going into those games and knowing how I felt, just with like all fists clenched, ready to rock. I wasn't that the first time around, and that's kind of how I knew I wasn't. It's all in hindsight, but again, I just can't reiterate enough that like that's the goal, that's the dream, and I know I'm ready for it.
And then for these guys here, they to a man after the recent postseason exit, they said they need to get tougher. How, if at all, do you see that watching from home manifest, and how do you think that can get corrected?
That's something that I haven't even been around the guys yet. I've got to hang out with Jalen and Tyrese and some of the guys here for summer league, but that's like I said, I am not here to try and, hey guys, follow me, let me lead you into the no. Like if Don's the leader, Don's the leader. If Darius is the leader, if Jarrett, Evan, like I am here to play. I'm here to support them in the best way that I can, and it's not when you win, nobody cares, and that's the goal. So if I don't play, it's fine as long as we win.
It was brief, but you played with Lonzo
Yeah.
in Los Angeles. What do you think this version of Lonzo can bring to this team?
Zoe is so exciting. The game of basketball is a better place with Zoe playing. He and I mean that. I truly do. Plays the game as pure gets. My man gets off the ball and shares it and just wants to make you better. Doesn't just want to, does. I'm really excited about playing with Zoe. I think he is. I think he's incredible. Really, I'm excited to play with him again, and I'm just looking forward to him making my job a lot easier.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it. Thank you.
Good to see you, man. I'm coming to see you, old man. All right, old man. Let's go.